Studio this evening. Sani Adib, who is security analyst. Mr. Adib, good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Sani, right? Yes. Or which one is either? Okay, now this is worrying, I must say, that when a new government takes over and people who have allegiance to that party do acts like these, we cannot find the words to justify why they will do that. And if you heard the interview earlier, it did sound like the person being interviewed really didn't have a fair appreciation of security risks and why even CCTVs are needed. This is bad, would you say?
Indeed, it is bad, and with all humility, I mean, the gentleman you spoke with earlier seems to have no clue, I mean, about the importance of security and, of course, CCTV for that matter. But that notwithstanding, it is important to recognize that these actions and inactions are quite inconsistent with our democracy. We are not in a banana republic. I mean, we are in a country that is governed by the rule of law.
And the laws must work.
Exactly. We have, for every system to work, there are three main components. We should have the institutions, we should have the processes, which are the laws, the legislations, the statutes that the institutions are supposed to use to work. And we have the third and most important components, which are the people. So like I indicated, we are governed by the rule of law. And there are so many processes, I mean, to go through to seek redress if you think you have been victimized in one way or the other. But it is important to also recognize a serious problem we have in the country, and that has to do with the culture of impunity, which is becoming a daily ritual and which seems to be becoming a custom in our country.
And could be a dangerous trend.
Indeed, it is, because it has the potential of making some of these incidents becoming widespread. It has the potential of inciting their colleagues, or comrades, they should put it, all across the country. Oh, our comrades in Tamale have done this. Those of us in Sunyani, let us do the same thing. And also, you know, the kind of rhetorics that is coming from the political parties anytime we have issues of this nature coming up is not helping the situation, because we know they are not.
What kind of rhetoric do you want to see? I mean, Samir Uku a while ago just said that they're not they not support this, but he also then makes reference to the fact that this appeared to be retaliatory, that their people suffered this when the last government took over. But should this be the issue?
Of course. No serious Ghanaian would rationalize these actions. It's very inconsistent. It's alien to us. I mean, we don't need this in 21st century political Ghana. That is why it's important that the political parties, when we have issues of this nature, rather than politicize it like we've always had, and I've always indicated that even if it doesn't rain in Ghana, there's a political connotation given to that. It's important we separate politics from security issues in Ghana. The police are quite constrained, because I have on several occasions had hearty discussions, I mean, at the personal level with some high-ranking police officials who have indicated that they are constrained because they arrest young men who are alleged to have done the wrong thing, and the first persons to call them to release
political heads.
Are political heads.
We demand their release.
But that notwithstanding, the police institution is based on some principles. I mean, it's based on some level of professionalism. So you would have to, in the face of the political interference.
But come to think of it, the police is not acting swiftly enough, and is this because it is political?
That is one of the issues.
Is the police afraid to exhibit its independence? Indeed,
when the alleged invisible forces went to invade the Temato booths, a police spokeswoman from the Tema area said, you know, and everybody heard it all across the country, that because of the politically dicey nature of things at that time, they found it very difficult to make an arrest. But I mean, that is completely out of place. You would have to go by the fundamental principles that governs your operation, and one of it is neutrality. So oblivion of whichever political divide a perpetrator belongs, it is important that you make the person go through the system so as to serve a deterrent to would-be trouble causers, and of course also make victims, okay, feel safe, because when they don't feel safe, it creates an environment of mistrust and lack of confidence between the people and the police. That is when we have them coming out to defend themselves, as indicated by the chairman of the NDC immediately after the election. I mean, when he said that whoever is, I mean, when NDC supporters are attacked, they should fight back. It sends the wrong signals and, like I indicated, completely alien to 21st century.
Mr. Sani Adiba, let's quickly go to the police service and hear them. The police says it has softened its rules against political vigilantism because it offers positive options. Director of Police Operations, Chief Superintendent Dr. Benjamin Agozo, insisted the heavy presence of the invisible forces at the Saturday presidential inauguration was a welcome introduction.
Vigilantism per se is not bad, because there's a positive aspect to vigilante. When we are talking about armed vigilante, that's a different issue altogether. So if you have people in a community coming together to work in the night to ensure that thieves are arrested, and that is a kind of vigilante, but it's a positive one. But there are others that may not be acceptable in society. That is what we are talking about. So armed vigilantes, these people were here today, they were supportive, they were not armed. What will you say to them? And don't forget, the planning committee also made us aware that they will have us work with certain group of people who have been helping us. Call them whatever name you want, but these are people who have helped us. At the end of the day, they have been very helpful to us. Maybe it's something that we will all sit down and talk about and decide. You know, these things are dynamic, and there is nothing that you say is so static. So maybe in future we'll all sit down as stakeholders, look at how we can rechannel these energies into something positive.
Right, Director of Police Operations there. I don't know what to say, but I think this is promoting lawlessness, isn't it? I mean, as much as he explained that armed vigilantism is what we don't want, but ordinary vigilantes and who will just go to the Independence Square and take part in presidential inauguration. Is this not trivializing the issue of presidential security?
Yeah, indeed. The good or bad of vigilantism depends on the context, it depends on the setting, and it depends on the timing. I remember in the run-up to the election, I was on radio with a police official, and I said categorically that vigilantism, I know, is not a bad thing, but it becomes bad when it metamorphoses into a militia. Because vigilantism is from the word vigilance, to be vigilant, and there's absolutely nothing intrinsically or fundamentally wrong with being vigilant.
A citizen being vigilant.
Exactly, because in the past we have even had some young men within a community come together with the consent of the police, going through the processes that are enshrined in the law to, as it were, ensure security. You know, unfortunately, because they were not well trained, we had the Taifa shooting incidents that resulted.
I'm afraid we need to end our conversation, but I believe that we will continue this discussion a lot more as the days go by. And thank you for staying with us for News at 10. That's where we